in my university, 3 students looked for prostitutes in Shanghai and they were arrested by policemen. Here are some small cards of women lying on the floor of the hotel. I don't know, maybe it's popular? I don't know, I have no idea. I've never called a prostitute. And just during the period of the pandemic, some guy died because of heart attack. Hello friends, we are in Nanjing, and Nanjing is the most prosperous city in China in history. And there were a lot of prostitutes along the Qinhuai River. And one of the most famous ones is Li Xiangjun. She is here. Nice to meet you. And today we'll visit her apartment. Let's go. You know, to be a prostitute, you have to be very talented. Then you can be very popular. So that prostitute back then, they know everything. Play Chinese piano instrument, they can make poem, they can paint, draw very beautiful paintings, you can see. And yeah, to be a prostitute, it's not so easy. You have to really be good and study a lot. Upstairs must be her bedroom. Oh, it's really beautiful. It's really like a girl's room, like curtains, and you know all the decorations are so delicate. You know, when you meet a friend, you sit in the living room back there, and when you do things, well, look, here is the study room where she practiced the instrument. So this place really looks like a person's room, and the person who are very well educated, who has very good manner. I suppose all things are antiques. Okay, those wood furnitures. My God, wonderful. Think about it. In ancient time, women have very low status, and their job they cannot be too talented. Without talent, is the best thing for a woman because their mission is to marry somebody and give a child to a man, to the family. So they should not be educated. So you see, the well-educated people end up being a prostitute. Alright, this is a bedroom. Wow, so nice this bed. See, outside it's a river.
Right. So this is a small museum, we can call it,
museum.
presenting the history of the place of living and the
The
memory of the
residence of the
most
prostitute.
well-known prostitute in the
Yes.
history of Nanjing. So the Nanjing, which was many times capital of China in the past, and the residence of emperors in the past, was obviously very important. And where is the power and money, there are always prostitutes. So no surprise that there were prostitutes in Nanjing. How it was in the past in Chinese society, how well it was tolerated, accepted to be a prostitute. Was it a taboo? Was it a normal thing to do for a woman? How was it?
In history?
Yes, in the
Or-
past when there was when this prostitute was active, for example.
Well, it was a business. Like no taboos, no restrictions.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Was it a desired or at least respected perspective for the young girls to become a prostitute?
I don't think so. I don't think so. People still think that the prostitute's life is the last choice that the woman wants to choose.
So this one was the most important one, except of her. I understand there were 8, the most famous prostitutes. How many were prostitutes anyway in these times?
Ooh, many. I don't know how many.
Really?
Many. And you know one very famous that even has connection with the emperor in what dynasty. And the emperor just sneaked out from the palace, from his palace, and secretly and came to a prostitute's house. And he doesn't want anybody to know anyway.
Of course.
But people know his story anyway now. Everybody knows in China.
Of course. So how it is right now? How it is to be a prostitute in China?
It's illegal to have this, this business is illegal.
How popular it is, prostitution?
Well, interestingly, until recent years, I realized that it is actually very popular. Before, I didn't even know that it's so, popular. I mean, it was because the first time it just gave me this idea that, well, prostitute actually exists and popular. It is because in my university, 3 students, I think 2 master degree students, 1 PhD student looked for prostitute in Shanghai, and they were arrested by policemen. And then they were dismissed by the university. And then I know how possible our colleagues, they look for prostitute. And where they look for prostitute, where? I don't know. Each time I walk in the street and I look around, I don't see any prostitute. I don't know where to find them, so I just believe that there's no prostitute. But actually, they are there, and then I just remind myself each time I go somewhere traveling, I live in a hotel, and then sometimes I'll just, there are some small cards of women that just like lying on the floor of the hotel somewhere in the street, and maybe that's an advertisement for prostitute. Oh, okay. So yeah, I just didn't know.
So right now, nowadays, 21st century China, prostitution is popular?
I don't know, maybe it's popular because from time to time we still hear the scandal by the news.
And what society thinks about prostitution?
It's immoral, and anyone.
But is it what people really think, or is it just the propaganda, what government wants people to think?
Yeah, I think that's what government. It's a manner for, government to control the society.
Unemployed in China is quite high, 20%, between young people higher. Do you think it may push some young girls to become a prostitute?
Not necessarily, because there is one business very prosperous, to publish one girls their own photos, naked photos.
And it's not a prostitution?
Yeah, so I said that there is option that they can do. They can do this. They can earn some money from this, so they don't have to do real prostitute.
How much prostitute costs in China?
2,000 per one, per time.
How much?
1,000?
1,000 Chinese yuan.
Well, it depends on quality of the person. Some people old and ugly, maybe
Old
100,
and-
200.
200. How much do you think it would cost in some small city or almost countryside?
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never called a prostitute.
You have to make a research.
I heard in my city that in hospital, well, it was a scandal, During the pandemic, the doctors, they go to Wuhan to help Wuhan. And just during that period, the pandemic is still very strict, that period of time. They live in hotel and call some prostitute. And then some guy died because of heart attack. And then that scandal was, buried because they don't want it to be published.
Because
Nobody say news anyway. I just heard it from my friend, and we gossip like this. And nobody have any proof. Just people spread between us,
So, we go.
Okay.
Enough prostitution for today.
Oh, well, this is a very interesting subject to me anyway.
Yes.
Well, I would like to hear more information from other people. Yeah, there are many things.
If
that
any
I
of our
don't know.
viewers has experience with prostitutes in China, please write us the prices and the service you received, and whether prostitutes in China are better than prostitutes in other countries.
Yeah, I would like to know. Look at her shoes. In history, women has small feet. Smaller, the more beautiful. What? What you do? Okay, these are the most famous 8 prostitutes in Qinghai River.